This is the income bracket, though. All the people who are in this workshop right now with income 50 lakhs and above in a year, this is their biggest challenge. Let me ask you this one. This is another income level. Can you guess? My challenge of self-confidence. I'm honestly unsure about what bothers me. Overthinking and not acting. Fear of unknown and not trusting my abilities to the fullest. Fear of failure. Overthinking. Procrastination. Always either lost in the past or in the future. Which category is this? Below 10, 20, up to 50, 50 plus. Annual income. Put it in the chat. What do you think? 10, 20, 10 to 20, 50, 50 plus, 50 plus, 50 plus, 50 plus. Okay, here you go. This is 10 to 20 lakhs. Okay, what do you think this one? Decision making, overthinking, decision making, confidence, overthinking, procrastination, unnecessary stress, insecurity, resistance, self-doubt. Stress, overthinking, below 10. Okay, under 10. 20 to 50. 20 to 30, 50. Okay, this is 0 to 10. The income, annual income, up to 10 lakhs. And this one. What's my biggest obstacle that I can relieve that will make it worth it for me? Financial independence. Be more assertive at work. Overthinking negative thoughts. Be firm in decision making. Overthinking self-confidence. All of this. What do you think this income group is? Constant doubt, anxiety, and trying to perfect myself. Yeah. 20, 25, 50, 50 plus. Is this one. And so I want to share this with you here. Why? Because, no amount of external success changes this for us. Some of you caught that early. Some of you also mentioned that. No, it doesn't matter which one. But, putting it with actual figures, actual assessment was also even just reconfirms the same belief within us that our internal reality is the one that is more important. It doesn't matter how financially successful you are, it doesn't matter, because the ladder that you might be climbing, it might be leaning against the wrong wall. And I want to tell you that's okay. It's okay, because this is where we're going to be doing this stuff. I'm going to be teaching you these things that, I got to learn. And really, I believe we teach best what we needed to learn the most. And for me, this was it. I'm going to be sharing the transformation leadership code with you. And this is going to be some stuff that is really, really powerful. Does this sound interesting to you? Let me check. Okay. Yeah, I'm checking. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm going to be sharing these things about transformation leadership code. And this is something that has taken me about 13 years of active professional engagement, way longer personally. Our journey started personally. I've been professionally in this space for about 13 years. And my biggest challenge right now is, how do I combine every single thing that I've learned in a meaningful way that can bring you some value, that you guys leave with a breakthrough. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share 3 secrets with you. And that's going to be, and I'm going to put them on the screen. Here you go. I'm going to share these 3 secrets with you. This is going to be everything that we'll be covering in this workshop. 3 secrets to live a life of extraordinary success and grace. And you can take a screenshot of this. The first thing that I will share with you is the hidden code, like why the world's most fulfilled high performers don't rely on hacks, willpower, or pushing themselves. They've discovered a way of living that takes the struggle out of the equation. That's the first part. I'm going to give you the map of the code, and this is a timeless wisdom. It's not a new thing. The second, when we understand the code, the next thing we'll go into is inner stillness. This is where I will guide you in a mindful practice. In fact, I will teach you how to guide yourself through a meditation every single time, that you can understand from that place that how anyone can access clarity, energy, or breakthroughs, even if you're constantly riddled with self-doubt or you're drowning in overthinking. And this is, we'll be going through that meditation deep. That's why I asked you to have your space contained. And then third secret would be to go big on the circle of influence. How to effortlessly achieve great results with very little resources. This is the stuff that is super, super powerful, regardless of how much money you have, if you have toxic environment or what have you. It works every single time, whether you're trying to change your career, your relationships, or any other area of your life. And so this is the stuff that we're going to be covering. Is that fair? Are you guys good with that? Are you guys alive? Okay, 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 good. Bueno. So we're going to be covering this. So this is the first one. And I want to share something here because this is where the real magic happens. Let me see. Let me turn this one off. So when we talk about the secret code, one of the things that I really want you to think about right now is this idea. There's a myth that if I find the right strategy, if I find the right hack, it will change everything. If I find the right hack, it will change everything for me. How many of you have felt that before? That if I find the right strategy, that would be a game changer for me. And what I want to tell you is that right now, straight off the bat, there is no hack. There is no hack. And I want to completely break it down for you because this was the source of my pain for about 10 years of my life. And if I could do just one thing that crush this belief for you forever, it will be worth it. Just if you learn just this one thing, your life will be with a lot of ease. And I want to tell you that, think about this. Think about when we get a paracetamol. Think about our relationship to paracetamol. If I have a headache, it's a great tool. I take a pill, the headache goes away. It's a great tool. But if every single time, if I'm getting a headache again and again and again, and I keep on taking paracetamols week after week, week after week, week after week, all we are doing is numbing the signals of my body to tell me that there's something wrong. And over time, if I just continue to rely on it without going into the real root cause of it, it will break. Does this make sense? And the idea about, we are cutting the signals of our body and we start looking for quick fixes. Why do you think, I'm curious, why do you think we are currently looking for solutions like Ozempic? If we are overweight, we stitch our stomach, make it smaller. If we are unable to sleep, we are having difficulty sleeping. We are taking melatonin pills like it's candy every single day. Like, why are we doing that? Why are we looking for a game-changing hypnosis that can permanently transform my self-esteem issues overnight? Why? Why is that? Where is this coming from? Okay. Quick result. Only believing and trusting the process in the universe. Okay. Within. Where is it coming from? People don't want to get to the root cause. Pattern. Worry to succeed only. Pattern. Okay. Coming from weakness. Laziness. It's easy to judge that. Here's another thing. Quick gratification. Why? Less patience. Why? Why is that though? One of my teachers, mindfulness teachers, I did a 2 year degree in Buddhist psychology. Ended up doing it by the path choosing me, I guess. And one of my teachers talks about it this way. He says that we live in a comfort culture. Think about it this way. If any kind of minor impulse that I have that I don't want, I can change it. If I'm feeling cold in my living room right now, here's the remote. I can turn it on and the heating will be on. I'll be normal. If I'm feeling cold, I can, if feeling hot, AC on. If I'm feeling bored. Ever since iPhones were invented, boredom was never there. Any impulse or boredom, whoop, here's my phone. I'm gone completely. Any single impulse that I have, we are all of us put together. We are living in a culture where we create this illusion that any minor impulse that I have, I can break through it. I can move past it until it doesn't work, until things really fall apart. And then nothing works. No escape works. We can live in this illusion for a long time that any minor impulse that I have, dopamine is cheap, alcohol, tobacco is there, like all these kind of escapes are there, dopamine on my device is there, all of those things are there. It's become so accessible to us. One, we've got to recognize the beauty of this. Kings and queens couldn't even dare to dream this 100 years ago. What we have right now, it's a great privilege of our generation. but also a curse, because that's the predicament. Every generation has their predicament. This is ours. And so when we are conditioned with that, we are naturally inclined to look for escapes, quick fixes. Does this make sense? We're naturally looking for quick fixes. But what do we do instead? What is the other way? Now, here's something, let me see. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I was myself, when I say that this was a real personal pain for me, I was obsessed with hacks. I was hacking everything. And it took me a long time to realize that the real value of hacks, there is value. There is value, but it took me a long time to realize the value of hacks. I was hacking everything. I learned how to hack to get peak emotions on a moment's notice, how to get really high confidence, how to, invite luck in your being. I started doing, I started learning Reiki when I was 15 years old because I wanted to do better in my exams. I learned it so that I can get somewhere. I started studying with Sudarshan Kriya and Art of Living when I was 18 years old because I was so shaken with my self confidence. And someone told me that when you do this, your energy changes, you become super confident, and you become lucky. The facilitator told us that. And I said, okay. And for from 18 to 25, every single time I had a big interview, every single time I had a big presentation, or every single time I had an important day, I would do Sudarshan Kriya to channel that energy, to channel my luck. And I started doing all of these things, like how to lose weight really, really fast, how to go into peak states at a moment's notice. All these hacks, I started doing them. I started reading lots of books. I started hacking learning. How do I hack learning? I took a certification in how do you speed up your learning capacity. There is value in it. There is value in it, but not the way I was chasing it at that time. I started listening to books on 2x speed, podcasts on 2x speeds. I started going to many, many courses, seminars, workshops, and the list was endless. It took me years and years and years to find out that I was looking at it wrong. I want to ask you this. I want to ask you something very important here. As we start to look for hacks over and over and over, one of the things, the reason why I was doing these things was to find a relief for a problem that I had. I have a problem, I want to fix it. And as we live in a culture that I have a problem, I can fix it. And there I have a problem, I want to fix it. And I keep on going into that. And every time I was always looking for the next one. I was always looking for the next one and the next one. I was never settled, and nothing really stuck with me because I was looking for momentary relief from the problem that was on the surface right now for me, just like that headache that the paracetamol can fix. And there's a beautiful story. I think one of my favorite books, by the way, that everybody should get is 1 Minute Wisdom. It's by Anthony DeMello. It's like it's all the religious context taken away and stories collected from different religions and different students and masters and turned into a one-page story. I want to share one with you. There's uh, you know, a distressed stranger, passenger comes to a master asking for a cure. And the master looks at him, who's sitting with his disciples, and he says, hey, do you really want a cure? And the distressed passenger looks at the master and says, well, why else would I come all this way for you? And the master says, well, yeah, many people do. He says, what for? He said, not for cure. That's painful. They come for relief. And he looks to his disciples and says that people who look for cure and provided that they can have it without pain are people who kind of look for progress, provided they can have it without change, without a deep change. I want to ask you this, and this is a moment of honesty. How many of you are looking for cure versus relief? And truth is, just cure is can seem like the right answer, but maybe the pain is too much and you are looking for relief and cure. But I want you to be honest. Before arriving in this workshop, from that place, go back to that state of consciousness. Were you looking for cure, relief, or both? Put it in the chat. Let's see it. And let's see how we are. This is our shared humanity. Both actually. Both. Yeah. Cure. Cure will bring relief, so cure. Okay. Now tell me this, how many of you are tired with the next big thing will change your life? The 100 things that you've tried and I am just exhausted. The next big thing will just change my life and I keep going there and I keep getting stuck. If it has happened to you, let me know in the chat. And beautiful Sylvia's daughter, hello, hi to you too. Okay. And I want to tell you that's okay. At this point, it's okay. The reason why I'm telling you this because I want you to know that I feel the pain. I feel the pain of trying many things over and over with absolute sincerity. I genuinely tried every single thing that I told you about. I tried different meditation every month. I tried different hacks. I tried different supplements. I tried different programs. I tried programs on law of attraction, on manifestation, on energy healing, on chakra healing, on I don't know, nutrition anthropology, and then biohacking, shortcuts to getting to like shrinking your body within 3 to 4 weeks. You can. It's unhealthy. But I've done all of that. I've done these things over and over, and nothing really moves. I know the pain of when you try many things and things are not creating an orbital shift for you. And then, I know the pain of when this happens, we resort to this fact that, oh, maybe there's something inherently wrong with me. And that's where it gets dangerous. And that's the pain that I felt for a long time. After trying so many hacks, I was like, maybe there's something wrong with me. And this becomes doubly toxic because every further hack that I look for, and our life doesn't change because we're looking for hacks, I am unconsciously investing more in my self doubt. I want this to land on you. Every single time I know this pain, every single time I look for the next hack, I unconsciously invest more. Here's a little bit more investment in my self doubt. Does this make sense? Makes sense to two people. Okay, good. Okay. So oh no, people are slowly waking. Good. And that's okay. This is the day we stop it. My goal today is for you to stop doing that. And it doesn't mean going not having paracetamol in the house, but knowing the value of paracetamol and knowing the value of living by a code. And that's different. And this idea of something, if guys, I want you to know that the pain that all the people who said yes, the pain that you feel, I feel so deeply. I spent about 10 years being stuck in that. This is one pain I really wish people experience less. You know why? Because this pain only comes to people who are unfortunately super committed to making a change, who genuinely believe that I can work on myself and they just don't give up on themselves. And I think this is one thing that should happen less in the world. And that's why I'm doing this workshop. A lot of my motivation is coming from this personal pain. I don't want you to feel it. And here's the thing that I want to tell you. There is a subtle shift. And over time, I started having this subtle shift. There's a very subtle shift that makes a monumental change. And that's the one that I want to show you. And then I'm going to show you the exact code that you can follow and you can apply, and your hacks will go in it. Your hacks will be in service to that code. And if they're not in service to that code, they are thrown out. And there will be just one code. And it's not something new that I've created. It's a timeless wisdom. And I want to share it with you. Here, let me share I think this is a cool uh, visual. See if you can recognize me in this picture. I mean, if you can recognize me in this picture. Where am I? Well, just say if you can recognize me. You don't need to point exactly number which, but here I am. This is, we were in, this is in Costa Rica, and this is like a retreat center where the Transformational Leadership Council group was there. It's run by Jack Canfield. And every single person here, wait, let me show you. This is Jack. For those of you who don't know, those of you lucky who still haven't discovered him, will change your life. He's sold more than 500 million books. He's one of the most important figures alive in our times today. This is Jack and his wife Inga, and we got to spend a week together. I got to join his Transformation Leadership Council. He's the guy who created the documentary The Secret. Now, this is in this room, all these people are some of the greatest teachers, legends who are in the space of transformation. This is Jack's community. This is Jack's mastermind, and every single person here. Some of these teachers have millions of students. Some of these people are buying private jets. They are working in the space of transformation at the highest level possible. The person whose hand is on my shoulder, I will talk about him a little bit later. He's been on the Oprah show. He's one of the greatest spiritual teachers of our time. We were all in this retreat for 1 week. We were investing. We all came for working on ourselves, and to working on realigning with our vision and processing every single thing that we haven't processed, things that we to forgive what we haven't forgiven, accept the things about our life fully with love and compassion that we haven't accepted in this group. And all of us are there. Every single person, by the way, spent minimum, bare minimum. I tell you minimum because that's the minimum I spent. $7,000 to around $15,000 to $20,000 to spend for a week here. And I met these guys, and I'm like, wow, wait a minute. All of these guys are some of the biggest teachers in the world. They're transforming millions upon millions upon millions of lives. And they are doing this. And I asked Jack, and I inquired what was happening. And the more I spoke with them, the more I understood that they all of them had their self-doubts. All of them had crippling anxiety from time to time. All of them had their own difficulties. But their way of living stood above it all. The way, the code, the principle that they lived from stood above it all, and that was never shaken. And I kind of already gave you the clue of that code, but this was a subtle shift for me. It's like when you work on your internal reality and you constantly invest on it, not from getting something, but just because that's what I'm here to do. That's the spiritual reality. When we start working on that, there is profound shifts that happen. And this is, I was waking up to this. And the more I did, I want to share like this, just so that you understand, for those of you who have not seen me in a long time, this is something that you got to recognize how far I've come. This is just for that purpose. My life started to change. My body changed completely after that. My career completely transformed. This is Vishen Lakhiani. He used to be my boss, and I got promoted 3 times in a year. This is me and my best friend Vadim. We were running the biggest teams in Mind Valley back when we were in Malaysia. We were being acknowledged in front of 400 people, and my career completely changed. My passion exploded. I got invited to speak on TEDx, and my talk that Vishen in the beginning mentioned got 7 million views. Here it had like in the screenshot 5.8 million. My passion completely exploded, and it's just kept on changing. I ended up starting my biggest dream of my life to create a personal growth festival in India, where we take people to walk on fire in pools filled with 5,000 kilos of ice, teach Buddhist psychology, come together, have a great time together. And my lifestyle completely changed as well. I was traveling the world, doing the things that I loved. And lifestyle pictures not as important. The reason why I'm telling you this, I got to do every single thing that I dreamed of. I was wishing for it and working sincerely for it for about 10 years, until this code shifted something within me. And within a few years, everything just lined up. And I just showed you the picture. What do you think happened to my self-esteem as this was happening? What do you think happened to my confidence? What do you think happened to the depth of relationship that I was experiencing? What do you think happened to the quality of love I shared with my partner? The quality of love that I shared with my friends? The quality of love that I've shared with my family? The quality of love that I started sharing with the company that I was building, with the employees that I had? That's what starts to happen. And that's profound. And then, then we can see, like, whichever way you want to go, you can choose to go there. But the code is very, very important. And here's another thing, guys. The transformational leadership code is a timeless principle. But when you apply, it allows you to manifest your unique expression. Remember, I said in the beginning, you like to have your unique expression manifested outwards and create impact, wealth, fulfillment from that. When we start working on this, something beautiful happens, and that beauty will be different for you and different for me, because your karmic predicament is different, mine is different, your curriculum is different, mine is different. But when we align with this code, it starts to find harmony in our external reality. I want to share this so you guys really see. We've been teaching this for the last 7 years. This stuff we've been teaching for the last 7 years about the transformational leadership code, and different people experience different things. This is Rishabh. He sent me a message actually a month ago. He came to my event 2 years ago. He said, I have fourth stage cancer when I came to Life Plugin, which was an event that I was running. And now I'm cancer free because I got a breakthrough at your event. Thank you for everything. Later, he sends me a longer message saying, I'm the, this is what my reality is. I was 23 years old when I got diagnosed. And right now, after learning this, I am teaching. I have a community of 400 plus people that I teach the value of wellness for wellness through good nutrition, because he found his purpose, his calling, and that's the direction he started moving towards. That was the code that was unlocking things for him. This was the things that was being unlocked for him. This was different from Radhika. Radhika came, she's a happiness coach. Look what she said on top. I've been suffering from chronic headaches since I was 13 years old. Imagine that. And after doing a workshop experience, her headache went away overnight. And then this is the real juice, guys. It's almost a year now. This is where relief shifts to cure. It's almost a year now. I'm glad that the severity of those headaches has permanently gone down by 90%. It's a different manifestation for her. This is Srinivas Kulkarni. He's the head of talent development of FCB Connect, by the way, if you don't know, it's like the largest independent marketing agency in Southeast Asia. He's running a company and he's very focused. A lot of work is required. He said, since 65 days since the workshop, I feel younger and energized. I've been super productive at work, lost 10 kilos, maintained a healthy diet, been more mindful, and I've discovered a rejuvenated version of myself. Not only that, he says that sends me these pictures of this whole journey. Now, here's what I want to tell you. I want you to pay attention. We weren't teaching how to heal your cancer. We weren't teaching how to get rid of your chronic illnesses. We weren't teaching how to be more productive and just naturally lose more weight. Does that make sense? I want you to really hear it. Those are the symptoms. If we were just teaching that, maybe our case studies would be different. We were teaching coming into internal harmony. And there's a code. These are timeless principles. I'm going to reveal them to you, and we're going to be brushing past through them very, very fast. So I want you to take screenshots of it. So I hope you guys are ready for that. You guys ready for that? Okay. I'm going to brush through them fast, and then we can talk about them later. But here's the transformational leadership code. Take the image of this. It has 3 principles. You align to your vision, and we'll talk about what that is. And you act with your principles and values. And you go into radical acceptance. Align to your vision. What does that mean? Get clear about your vision in life, in all categories of life. Why is this important? Your intention behind this vision, your core principles that serve as a code of conduct. And you align to this vision through daily reconnections with the vision, visualization, mission statement, vision boards, what have you. Gratitude, recognition, daily connection to the core values, quick reading, accountability, journaling. Asking, am I in alignment with my values right now? That's the first one. Take a picture of that. Act with your principles and values. What are your core principles and values that serve as a code of conduct for you? Commit to the process that is aligned to your values and surrender to the outcome. This is a principle from Bhagavad Gita. Act while keeping consistency over a long period of time in mind. Act with the intention of 10 years of compounding, and identify the primary action of the day. That's one of the guiding questions that comes from Gary Keller that people find really helpful. And finally, this is the most important one. Radical acceptance. This is the surrendering of how your vision comes to be. Take a picture of that. Daily acceptance practice. What is the daily acceptance practice? It's a consistent mindfulness practice, not to get something or get somewhere, but to be with our life exactly where we are. Acceptance allows the space to digest anything that hasn't been fully processed in our life. Any undigested emotional experiences in our life, they manifest into dis-eases. Mental, physical, emotional diseases, and the lessons in life will keep on getting repeated until they're learned. This is the principle. And by the way, these 3 things, when I call about the transformational leadership code, these 3 things are timeless principles. This is I spent a lot of time into just hashing it out, articulating it, trying to understanding it, until the last 2 years I've been studying Bhagavad Gita. So, it's one of those texts that you have to study over and over. And these are the exact principles that Krishna taught Arjuna. Align to your highest vision. What is alignment to your highest vision? That's your duty, that's your dharma. That's what you're here to do. And when that vision comes in, it pulls you forward. Even if you say, I don't want to do it, there's every single part of your being inside you pulling you that way. And the more we try to ignore it, that's where we go into escapes. We're going to go into that right now. But that's the alignment to your highest vision. Then act in accordance to your principles. Act oriented towards the highest vision, oriented towards the divine. That's what Krishna taught Arjuna. And then radical acceptance. You surrender the outcome. And it's easy to say surrender the outcome. You are entitled to your action, not the fruits of your action. How do you practice it? That's what Krishna said to Arjuna, right? Offer everything to me. Offer everything you do, give everything you do as you get as an offering to me. Even your suffering, offer it up to me, to the divine. That's the premise, radical acceptance. These three principles, and you have the screenshots, you can apply them in your own way. And for those of you who want to learn this deeper, there's a couple of different ways that you can. A couple of things will come a few months later. We can share that information with you later if you want to work with me. And we'll also share towards the end how you can apply these principles if you want to work directly with me. But here's something that I want to tell you right now. As we work on these three things, things will start shifting for you this moment. The moment we say we want to cut this aspect, where we're not going to look for other hacks, we're going to iron out our vision. We're going to identify what my core principles and values are, and then we're going to act, and we're going to learn and cultivate this ability of radical acceptance. That's the first principle. That's the first secret. That's the hidden code. Was this interesting? If this has landed well for you, then we can go into the meditation. Does this land well for you? How was this? Just to see, how is it landing on you? I'm curious. Beautiful, okay? Beautiful, useful, vision, principle, surrender the outcome. Useful, introspection. There's something that will happen already. You're going to be introspecting about a lot of things. Marinate in that. Marinate in the discomfort. If something comes to you straight away for the first time and it's not getting fully digested, first ask the questions, ask them, put them in the chat. We'll come back to them. But you asking them and you just sitting with them for a while, it will slowly start working on you. As you rest, it will slowly start working in your subconscious. As you hold the aspiration of living in accordance to the code, it will slowly start working for you. Good. The picture, the screenshot that you take, the details, I showed you some of the principles that you can apply, and we'll come back to how to apply them in details later. But rest in that. If you're holding that inquiry, how do I apply them? That is beautiful. That is your first shift towards moving away from the next hack, the next hack, the next magic pill, the next magic pill. Now we go to the second one. You guys ready for the inner stillness part? Now, I talked about before, like how can anyone access clarity, energy, and breakthroughs even if you constantly doubt yourself? And we asked you in the survey, how many of you are, your main challenge that you consider is overthinking? That I just cannot shut down my mind. If it is for you, just write me in the chat. And we're going to shift that right now. Okay. Me. And then one person says, me. Oh, okay. Another one says longer one. Okay. Beautiful. It's important to laugh at it too. It's our shared humanity. We are lost in it. It's all of us. Instagram has got all of us. Me too. All of us. It's okay. But the idea, how many of you think that distractions is the problem? Put that in the chat. Distractions, there's so many distractions in my life. 100%, 1000%. Yes. Okay, me. Yes, okay. You really believe distractions are the problem. Huge problem, all right? Distraction is the biggest enemy of our time. Sometimes, yes, okay. Yes, 1,000, infinity, okay. Often, here's what I want to tell you, and this is what we're going to shift. This is what we're going to shift today. As we're going into the segment, be sure that you're not disturbed now. Now is the time we're going to go into experiential stuff. Okay, I'm going to be guiding you through a, a mindfulness practice too. Distraction is just a decoy. Viji, that's a beautiful comment. I think we're going to unpack that here. There's a wise one in our group. Okay, what I want to tell you is this distraction, and it's going to be a surprising one, as it was for me. Distraction is not the problem. It's a message, it's a messenger that you've been ignoring for a long time. And when if I accidentally say like I did, like you've been ignoring, please know throughout this workshop and in my life, if you meet me, when I'm speaking to you, I'm also speaking to myself constantly. I'm still learning the lessons over and over that I teach. Distraction is not the problem. It's a messenger that you've been ignoring. Most people believe that my biggest problem is that I'm too distracted, too unfocused, too inconsistent. We surveyed you, we saw it. I'm too inconsistent. And then they blame themselves from being lazy, tired, procrastinating. I showed you those challenges in the beginning. They blame themselves, thinking that I just need more discipline and willpower. Now, I want you to honestly tell me right now, before we start into it, how many of you believe that you need more discipline and willpower? Lack of self control. Okay. Me, I do. Okay. We're going to do a practice where that makes this thing irrelevant. And we just have to look at it from a different perspective. Just a slight different perspective. I want you to imagine, what's happening with our distraction. It's a messenger that we are unable to listen to and unable to hear it. Why is that? Imagine you're a mother and you have a beautiful little boy, 5-year-old, very sweet little boy. But one day it's being a pain. It's just screaming and throwing things and just creating this ruckus in the house. It's just mad. And you don't have the energy to handle it. You don't want to handle it. So what you do, you put the child in the other room and you go to the other room. And then you can still hear the child screaming and crying and creating a ruckus. And so you say, that's it, I want to go away. I go upstairs. I go upstairs and you can still hear the child screaming. And then you go into the corner of your room, close the door, and you can still hear the child. So then you put your headphones on. And you're like, it's gone. And there are messages in our life that when we don't pay attention to, what happens? In this analogy, what happens? We're pushing something away. And pushing something away takes energy. It takes the constant pushing, the allowing the signals that are trying to communicate with us, giving them space. It takes energy. So you feel fatigued all day. You feel tired. And you also know deep down that, hey, at some point I need to get back to this inner child, whatever this inner child wants to express. At some point, deep down, our body knows. And so we'll have to face it later. And we know it deep down. And what that does is creates anxiety. And we keep ourselves busy, numb, distracted, just not to feel. Think about that. It's an important signal that is trying to communicate to us and how to bring us back to harmony. And all we do is we go to escape. We look for other escapes and distractions, and they work for sometimes. And then, when we talk about I want to change, what I talk about, I want to change my fatigue, my laziness. I'm not motivated enough, not driven enough. I feel a constant sense of these signals coming up. I'm overthinking. I have a sense of anxiety, self-doubt. And I have these escaping behavior that I would like to change. But distraction is not the enemy. It's merely a symptom. And we are ignoring the signals of our being, of our subconscious that we are unwilling to feel. Distraction happens when we are not feeling the signals that are inside of us that are unprocessed. I mentioned in the transformational leadership code, the final aspect is that any unprocessed emotion or experience that we have in our past, that we haven't really digested, any ill-digested experience from our past, it manifests as a dis-ease, a mental dis-ease or a physical dis-ease or an emotional dis-ease. If so, those of you are curious, unprocessed negative emotions, by the way, they are so toxic. There's a book called Biology of Belief, for those of you who haven't read it. Bruce Lipton, neuroscientist, oh no, sorry, scientist who was studying the roles of genetics on cancer, stumbled upon this, where he wasn't looking for this. He was looking for the opposite proof. And he found out that most cancers across demographics, across cultures, the one common factor underneath them, they all had unresolved negative emotions. Unresolved anger, hatred, guilt, shame. When we don't process the unresolved experiences and we don't digest them, they manifest into diseases. Some have mental diseases, anxiety, depression, overthinking. And today's world, we believe, we create this illusion that, hey, you can escape, you can forever remain on this hedonic treadmill. You can forever escape everything. We create this illusion that every negative impulse that I have, I can escape it. And I can only squeeze the juice out of life, only get the positive and the positive and the positive. And it works for some time until it breaks, until things really fall apart, until we lose a job, we go through a divorce, lose someone we love, get betrayed by a business partner, what have you. And then nothing works. The real issue is not that we are unable to focus or overthinking. The real issue is that we've lost the muscle of being with the uncomfortable. Those, guys, those of you who were an adult 20 years ago, you would remember. You would remember like there was a time before smartphones, and we would have days and hours and hours and hours in our day where we would just be sitting with nothing and just sitting. When we learn the ability to sit with what is unprocessed and integrated, when we can learn to sit with it, it moves through us. And the moment it moves through us, we regain our ability. All our abilities come back to us. Distraction loses its power. There's this book by Jill Boyle Taylor, I think. She wrote this in this book. It's called My Stroke of Insight. One second. Yeah. One of the things she talked about was this. She said that it takes about 90 seconds. Every emotion. Think about this. Think about if you're having a fearful emotion. If you're afraid, let's say you're asked to give a presentation and you're afraid of public speaking, which we teach. And one of the things that happens is that you feel fear. Your heart starts to beat faster. You start breathing shallow just from your chest. Your hands get sweaty a little bit. Your mouth might get dry. Physiological manifestation of an emotion. Make sense? Every emotion has a physiological signature, and it takes about 90 seconds for it to arise and pass through. Here's the catch. It takes about 90 seconds for it to arise and then pass through, if not interjected by the thought. But what tends to happen is we feel an emotion. What if this presentation goes wrong? Fearful thoughts. Fearful thoughts create more fearful emotions in the body. We feel more fearful emotion in the body. We panic more and we have bigger fearful thought. And what if it goes just absolutely worse? Okay. Oh shit. All the worst possible scenarios in my thoughts, back to emotion. And then the emotion gets bigger and the fearful thoughts. And there we go in this negative spiral. And the only way to come out of it that we learn, escape. Don't deal with it. Go upstairs, put on your headphones. And then it keeps on knocking, keeps on knocking. My Stroke of Insight is the name of this book. And so when we are living in this culture, we got to understand, we got to learn to sit with whatever is happening. And children do it perfectly. Yesterday I was at the playground. There was I think maybe 4-year-old girl with her 2-year-old sister. They were playing, they were having ice cream, they were running in the playground, laughing. Their mother is playing with them, laughing. I saw it literally yesterday. All of a sudden, the younger one starts crying and crying, ah! And I didn't understand why. None of the people around in the park understand why. She just starts crying. 2 minutes later, she was calm. 30 seconds later, she was laughing again, playing with her sister. Children do it perfectly. And so we're going to be doing a quick practice first. First, I give you a not much instruction. The only instruction, are you guys up for a quick practice? 2 minutes? Promise. First, we'll only do 2 minutes before going into a deeper meditation. And for those of you who've done Vipassana, this is the practice that you learn for the first 4 days. All you got to do is pay attention to your breath at the tip of your nostrils here, and as it comes in and goes out on top of your lip here. So right now, take a deep breath in through the nose. You'll feel the coolness of the air coming in through the nostrils, and you'll also feel the coolness on top of your lip. You feel it? And take a deep exhale out from the nose. You'll feel the warmth out through your nostrils, something moist. Maybe one nostril is more open than the other, and on top of your lip. Now, this is what we're going to do. We're going to sit and we're going to do this for 2 minutes. Keep all our attention here. In breath, out breath, just our attention here. Breathe as normally as you can. And as you do, you'll get distracted. The moment you get distracted, come back. Bring your awareness back to your breath here. Cool? Simple instruction. Okay, time starts now. Let's do this together. You can slowly bring yourself back. Bring yourself back. This is going to be the tool that we'll be using. How was these 2 minutes for you? Put that in the chat. And as you process and you describe it, it also deepens that practice for you, the deeper meditation practice that we're about to do. How was this one for you? Life slowed down, calm, peaceful, good, calm, relaxing. Okay. So many random thoughts came. Visiting, beautiful. That's a good one, Viji. Calm, relax, calm, clam. I'm guessing someone wanted to say calm. Good, but distracted many times. Yuvraj. Fair. That's the one we're going to be talking about. Feeling pleasant. This is what we did 120 seconds. One of the things that we will do here, going in, going out, going in, going out. Challenge in the beginning. Second minute, I enjoyed observing the feeling under the nose above my lip. That's beautiful. Here's what I want to tell you. When I start doing it, I sit with this practice. I'm like, oh, simple instruction, breath. The reason why we use breath is because breath is a perfect mirror. Here's the thing. Some people will feel calm. Some people will be. Was anyone feeling that my mind was rushing crazy? Too many things. Some people might be feeling tired. Some people will straight away feeling tired the moment they close their eyes and focus on their breath. Breath, when we bring our focus on the breath with our eyes closed, it's a mirror. It reveals to us straight away exactly what's happening within us. Immediately. It just reflects back at us. Look, all of this was already present the moment you close your eyes. And then you just keep on bringing yourself back. And it's like you sit and you focus on the breath. One breath, I'm here. Another breath, I'm here. Gone. Gone. I'm living a fantasy. This whole philosophy, what I'm going to eat later, what's going to happen later, what's the third thing in the quote that they mentioned? Gone. And then I'm like, no. My instruction was to bring back to the breath. Back to the breath. One more. Here. Gone. Flying away, and then I'm somewhere else, again, thinking about something else. And then remember, back to the breath. The way we do this practice is as if for people who had a lot of calm, good. If they had a lot of distraction, good. If they were feeling tired, good. If they just couldn't keep their eyes closed, good. I want to tell you good because it is, so you don't confuse it. The practice is in the bringing ourselves back. It's like as if you're training the puppy. You have a puppy and you have a puppy in your lap, like a sweet little puppy. And he's trying to, you're sitting on your chair and it tries to jump off. And you're like, no, 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 sit, stay. And it tries to go on the other side of your lap and it tries to run away that way. No, 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 no. Sit, stay. Tries to jump off again. Sit, stay. Again, sit, stay. Non judgmental, love, compassion, sit, stay. We do this in the beginning. We cultivate this practice. The, the, this animal becomes our greatest servant. And this is the greatest animal, our mind. It's a terrible master, but an incredible servant. And we need to cultivate this practice. I was watching this interview by Novak Djokovic, like one of the greatest tennis players of all times. And this isn't, I think it just came out yesterday. I saw the snippet. And people were asking, what's his greatest skill? It's a tennis player, like, one of the richest players in the world, like at the top of his game. And one of the things he was asked, like, hey, what's the one secret you can give us? He said, hey, in a game, when you're playing a game, there's many times you lose focus. Focus is very important, and then you lose it. Something bad happens, you get angry, you're frustrated, you're beating yourself up, you're hating yourself, you're like, can't believe you did that. But you have to come back to your focus very fast. The thing about champions, the thing about high performers is how fast can I bring myself back? How fast can I bring myself back to the focus? Notice if you can see the parallel. Because I was hearing him speak and I could just see the parallel. And in the end, he says, and you know what? The thing that helps me the most is mindfulness of the breath. To do that. It's like when we sit and our mind takes us away and we bring ourselves back. Takes us away, bring ourselves back. It takes us away in a different place, bring ourselves back. Our face is itching. My face is itching. No, no. Okay, there's an itch. Back to the breath. Oh, my knee is hurting. Oh, my knee is hurting. Either I can be identified with it or like, no, 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 my focus was supposed to be on the breath. So there's the knee pain and here I am. There's the itch and here I am. There's the thought and here I am. There's the thing that I got hurt with and here I am. And slowly, experientially, I keep on bringing myself back and back to the center until we rest in this place. We come back and this is an experiential thing. Otherwise it's a nice conversation we're having. No change will happen. This is one of those things, those who've experienced it, no explanation is necessary. And those who haven't experienced it, none is possible. We got to bring ourselves back experientially over and over again, rather than running away from our distractions. Now, here's the thing. We're going to be doing this practice a little bit longer. And as we do this, the idea is that anything that takes you away, every time you remember, my focus was supposed to be on the nostrils. Here, every time you remember, you re-merge with who you really are. The ever-present, never-changing, the divine within, the Buddha nature, the Krishna within, whatever you want to call it. That's the one we're bringing ourselves back to. And then as we keep on bringing ourselves back from different experiences, different impulses, we train in this soft environment. I wish it was sexier to explain that, hey, by training this, things outwards change. But as we train every single impulse, every single pain, every single thought that is coming up back to the breath, we come and learn over time to sit here while the Leela of life starts to move around. And then when we sit here, we can choose to act whichever way we want to. We become free from them. They don't disappear. The point is not to make them disappear. The point of them is to be free from them. And then when we are free, we can choose. And so that's the practice that we will now do. And I will guide you through a mindful practice. But this one, I will guide you this once, but this is something after this you can apply straight away in your homes anytime. Are you guys ready for that one? And this is we're going to be sitting for about 10 minutes. And your only instruction, each time it goes away, when you recognize that it's gone away, when you remember it's gone away. Oh shit, I was supposed to be in my thoughts. I was supposed to be here. Who's observing? You're lost in thought. I'm here and I'm lost. I'm lost in thoughts. And then suddenly you remember, oh, I'm lost in thoughts. Who's the one observing that I'm lost in thoughts? It's the observer. I want you to sit in the place of the observer. Each time something takes you away, it will. It's the body creates enzymes, mind creates thoughts. 60,000 of them every day, roughly. That's okay. It's a natural process. And there's something takes us away. And the moment we remember that something has taken away, back, back, back. That's the mental gym that we'll be practicing. And we see on the other side how beautiful that is. Let's see how that goes for you. You guys ready? And we'll continue the conversation on the other side. Listo. Ready? Good. Is this interesting? Okay. It's interesting. Good. Okay. Okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. Yes, yes, I need to see. I only see some faces. I see Diksha, I see Manju replying, I see Akash there, but like the rest, I don't know. Yeah, okay. All right. We're going to be doing this practice now. So sit comfortably with your back ideally upright as much as it can be, or in a position that you can be relaxed. Take a deep, conscious breath in through the nostrils, and as you do, notice the coolness of the air coming through. And as you exhale consciously through your nostrils, notice the warmth, moist air coming through your nostrils, through your lips. Take another deep, conscious breath in through the nose, and as you sensitize yourself to the flow of the air, and exhale consciously as you feel the air going out, the quality of that air. Take another deep one, just like that. And as you do, if you haven't closed your eyes already, you may do so. Now, as you're sensitized to the sensations on your nostrils and on top of your lip, keep your entire awareness just here on the breath. Let your breath be natural as it is. Let go of the day so far. Keep your awareness at the tip of your nostrils and top of your lip as the breath comes in and out. And there will be thoughts, sensations, feelings. Allow them to rise and fall in the background like the waves of the ocean as you stay centered on your breath. If your mind wanders, know that it's completely natural. That's a moment of mindfulness. Simply bring it back to the breath. Sit. Stay. Sit. Stay. Each time our attention wanders, bring it back to the breath. Just this breath. Just this breath. Just this breath. Each time we catch ourselves, taken away by a thought or a sensation or an emotion, that is a moment of mindfulness. Each time we bring ourselves back, we strengthen our connection with our highest self. Keep your entire awareness at the tip of your nostrils and on top of your lip, just on the breath. Just this breath. We will conclude this short meditation with a poem by Kaveri Patel. She says, "There's a monkey in my mind, swinging on a trapeze, reaching back to the past or leaning into the future, never standing still. Sometimes I want to kill that monkey, shoot it square between the eyes so I won't have to think anymore or feel the pain of worry. But today, I thanked her and she jumped down straight into my lap, trapeze still swinging as we sat still." Slowly, you may bring yourself back. In your own time, whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Welcome back. Buenos dias. Yes, tell me how it was beautiful in a new world now. Okay. How was it? Good, but was difficult. The monkey was troubling me. Hey, it's our monkey. You know? I think I dozed off for a second. Relaxing AF. Okay. Tough, but very nice. Here's the thing. To the degree it is tough, what I want you to pay attention to right now, that's the predicament. To the degree it is tough, that's how much we need to do it. Okay, just slowly and slowly. Each time. This is not new wisdom. This is what Buddha taught 2,500 years ago. Exact same teaching. This is what Krishna taught Arjuna in the first part of Gita. Dhyana Yoga. That's what this is. And if you want to look at teachings of our teachers and sages of our time, they still speak the same thing. If we can just cultivate an ability to sit and stay with whatever is present for 7 minutes, our life would be very different. Felt calm and peaceful. What we are really developing is a quality of presence. You know, it's another, I think you're going to really love this book by Anthony DeMello. There's another story in that. Oh, let me see what other people are saying. My monkey played tennis with the monkey, kept it busy. Okay, it went away. Beautiful. Okay. Back to the breath, back to the focus. Okay, so I want to share this story by again by Anthony DeMello. Talks about how when we talk about doing things, achieving things. There's an excited student that goes to the master and says, "Hey, is there anything I can do to speed up my enlightenment?" See if you can see yourself in that predicament. What else can I do to get there faster? And then the master says, as little as you can do to make the sun rise in the morning. And the student doesn't like that answer. So he says, so what good are these practices that you're teaching? And the master says, so that you're not asleep when the sun begins to rise. And that's the juice. Juice is that there's enough beauty and enough signals that our inner child is always trying to communicate with us, if only we can listen. A lot of the spiritual practices are really about spiritual reparenting. We are reparenting our inner child. The things that we didn't have earlier resources to process, they are still knocking in our body through our signals, through our sensations in our body. And the sensations in our body turns into emotions, which are also physiological signatures that also turn into thoughts. And then we try to keep pushing them away by putting the headphones on. Sometime we have to take the headphones off before things really fall apart. And this practice is for that. And this is the second one. Now I told you about two things. There's a third critical thing that's the thing that seals the deal for you. Are you guys interested in that? You guys ready for that? Because you understand the code, you understand the highest vision that and you act in accordance with your values and your principles. And then you practice radical acceptance, something that we did just now. You practice radical acceptance just now. Radical acceptance of whatever is there, I'm going to be with it. That's what we did. The itch is present. I can scratch it or just be with it. My knee is hurting. I can move it or I can be with it. My thoughts are coming. I can go with it or just be with it and bring myself back. Radical acceptance. One of my other teachers, Tara Brach, she wrote the book Radical Acceptance, highly recommended. She talks about this thing that enlightenment is absolute cooperation with the inevitable. Absolute cooperation with the inevitable. And this is how we train it. And so I want you to understand from this place that when we experience this, our response to life is different, because it can only come from experience. There's three things, and this is in the world of teaching also, and in the world of learning things. There's three levels of learning. Learning at the level of the mind, learning at the level of the body, learning at the level of the spirit. Learning at the level of the mind, intellectual, listening, reading books, bunch of things, podcasts, what have you. Learning at the level of the mind. Learning at the level of the body is experience, which is what you just did. And when we cultivate the learning at the level of the body, over and over, reflect upon it, at the level of the body, reflect upon it, contemplate on it, deepens into the learning at the level of the spirit, turns into wisdom. And then you're not meditating to become a good meditator. The point of mindfulness is not to become a great meditator. Here's, I have 500 days on my app that I've been meditating. The point of mindfulness is to bring it to life. Is that when you are in the tennis game of your life and then there's something happens that distracts your focus, gets you angry, gets you in pain or hatred, you bring yourself back and you get back to the game and back to the game and back to the game. And those things are present and I am present and we are different. I'm not identified with it. Even in language, the idea of identification is crazy. No? Like in English, by the way, we say, I am angry. I am hungry. In Spanish, they say, I have anger. I have hunger. In Hindi, there's both. In English, there's the identification, I am. Do you notice that subtle difference? Now, the third thing that I'm going to be showing you is a mindset. This is how, wait, let me show you this one interesting picture. This is nice. This is going to blow your mind. I had a client. This is Shalini, by the way. She's part of ATL. This is Accelerator for Transformational Leadership. This is something that, in case you're interested, you can write to our team. From June onwards, we'll open it again. Every 6 months or so, I run a batch of 20 people that I coach personally. And the coaching is happening for 6 to 8 months. We went through this practice, and this is Shalini is someone who is, it's very difficult for her to practice, like even with the mindfulness, she couldn't even close her eyes after 2 minutes. She sent me this message. She said, hey Gautam, I'd love to share my experience with you. Honestly, it's been anything like I've ever experienced. When I joined this program, I wasn't sure if it would work for me because I've gone through a lot and I didn't have a clear direction in life. But this journey has surprised me in ways I never imagined. I want you to think about this when you're not sure about going into a program or learning experience, or even this workshop. I'm not sure this would work for me. because I've been through a lot that if only people knew how much I've been through. I'm, and that's the place she came with. And she said, I've been in therapy for 3 years. But despite all the work, I still felt a sense of uncertainty that something is still missing. The things I processed here were not something I ever expected. I now realize that I still have huge part of my emotions I swept under the rug. Imagine that awakening coming in when you were in your 40s. And here's the thing that surprised me even further. She said one of the most unexpected shifts was discovering a love for writing. She told me, guys, on live call, she told me, I hate writing. I would never write a letter. I told my therapist I'm not going to do journaling, nothing, nada. And she told me this. She said, I hated writing. I would never do journaling. But even writing in reports was hard for me, you know. But this is what she said. She said, but in the past week, something shifted. I found myself writing nearly 10,000 words for a book I never thought I would write. At first, I assumed it's coming due to the program and the way it's affecting me, and that inspiration would fade, but instead it kept growing stronger. It's giving me a sense of purpose in life I never expected. I came with no direction. I have to say, I have one now. I want to ask you this: what would it mean for you when you don't even know what is beyond your mental chatter? And when the fear of experiencing all that tries to resurface, it paralyzing you. You cannot even see your clear vision. Then what would it mean for you if you can get there? This is one of the practices that simply gets you there. Isn't that interesting? And we get these messages like this often. So the inner stillness code, now you have it. Now the third one that I want to show you is this one, and I shared on the slide before: how to go big on circle of influence, how to effortlessly achieve great results, regardless of what your resources, whatever you have. And I want to share this image with you. Are you guys ready? Are you guys alive? This is the final one that seals the deal for you. Once you have the third pillar, once you lock this in, you will not only learn to center your mind, you will know how to orient it towards the life that you want to create for yourself. And I'm saying, regardless of the amount of money you have, regardless of the people that are in your surrounding, regardless of your circumstances, you apply this principle, changes everything for you. I'll share something with you. You guys ready? You know, when in 2000, this is 2013. I finally got a big job in the corporate ladder. I was like a senior manager position. I had moved out of India for the first time. That was my dream. I was living in the Philippines, and I was in this multinational corporation called DHL, and I was doing well. It was like my dream came true. I grew up in a middle class family, guys. For those of you who don't know, my first full time job was $100 a month, 7,000 rupees a month. That's my starting point. So when I'm telling you, I want you to understand the place where I came from. It's important. And so there, when I did that, I felt like I achieved the dream. But within, I think, maybe a month or so, I realized that I didn't want to be there. It's just not for me. The corporate thing was not for me. It was just, I felt a little bit suffocating, but I hated myself. I hated myself because I was like, oh my God, I did all of this. This is the first time in my life my parents are happy, and I'm not being a burden on them because we struggle financially all our lives, and we have three kids. And I don't want to be burden on them, and I was concerned about that, so I couldn't leave this job, but I hated it. And I felt like how am I being so ungrateful that all the things I want, this people would kill to have this dream, and I was living that dream. It was my dream, and I was hating it, and I was concerned about that, and it hurt me further and further. I was like, I hated my boss, and he was one of those bosses who would say like, yeah, you're not cut out for this. We'll see it. Like that was his way of motivating, and it was. I wanted to quit, but I didn't want him to have the satisfaction, and I was just getting concerned more and more about that. I didn't want to go back to the environment that you know, I was feeling that was not meant for me. If I left that job, I wouldn't know where else to go. I was concerned about that. I didn't. It was my stepping stone for living in Europe, which is what my heart wanted at that time. And so I was like, this is the job that takes me there because the European company, and I can't leave it. I was concerned about that. I was just hating myself. I was constant. The more I would worry about in how many ways I shouldn't be doing it, in all the ways that this thinking is wrong, it was just kept on expanding and expanding and expanding. I was at constant war with myself. The more I sat with that, The more I realized I can't let my parents down, I can't let my family down. I wasted my degree. I studied something completely different. I'm doing this job, finally got it. I got lucky. How can I be ungrateful? All of this. I can't let my boss be right. I was just concerned about all of those things. And I was feeling stuck. It just kept on being stuck with that. And then the more I stayed with that concern place, my concerns were increasing infinitely. And I just couldn't be with them. See if it resonates. See if it speaks to some parts of your being right now. And here's what I did. I did my escapes. I I was getting blackout drunk 2 to 3 times a week. It was like that was my escape. I had all the money, like more money that I could dream of as a kid at that time. I was like smoking, addictive behavior. I was snacking all the time in my office because it just give me a quick dopamine boost. I wasn't conscious about it then, but now in my hindsight, I was snacking all the time. I'd gained weight. I was taking, guys, I was taking longer breaks in the bathroom just so that I can sit on the toilet seat and play video games on my phone. That's how much I didn't want to be there. I would watch my clock to clock out and just not wanting to be there. And when half an hour ago, I told you, I did a medical health mapping that I was like, among all my peers, I was most likely to die young. At the age of 25, my metabolic age was 39. It happened right after I quit my job, my medical test. I was numbing every single signal, trying to escape it because I couldn't stay with my concerns. Just the concerns were too big and they were real. For me, they're real. I don't know like what background you come from. For me it was like this was my whole family. It was a dream for them that was being fulfilled through me. It almost felt like that I was letting all of them down. Now there is a better way of that. What I want to tell you is that the more I stayed in my zones of concern, they kept on expanding and I just kept on running away from them. It's like something that I taught you in the previous exercise. When we don't cultivate the ability to sit with them, that's one mindset. But there's a better way. Would you like to know the better way? Are you guys ready and open for that? And I'm going to share it now and see if it lands on you. This is one thing that absolutely changed my life. And I'm rarely, like you would see in my vocabulary, I would rarely talk about law of attraction manifestation. But in this scenario, some things shift for me and I want to share them with you. Let me see if I can place the picture for you. Do you guys see my screen? No? This is this. This man is Panache Desai. I met him at an event, and we both were speaking in Croatia. I met him. He's a spiritual teacher. He's been on the Oprah show, and I want to tell you this right now because like I met him and we bumped into each other. He's really one of the greatest teachers I've ever met in my life, and I want you to see it. I want you to follow him. It will change your life just a day's worth of interaction with him. I met with him, and we were both speaking at an event. There were thousands of people there. And so we bumped into each other. I said, "Hey, man, good to meet you. I've heard a lot about you, and then heard good things about your session." So I said, "Yeah, you want to have tea with me?" So we went to the cafeteria in the conference space, and it was supposed to be a 15-minute tea. Ended up being a 3-hour lunch. 5 hours later, ended up being another 2 hours dinner, and we connected really beautifully. And he said, "Hey, Gautam, you know what? You're starting out this. I was starting out. This is 2019. I had just started out my business. Every single piece of dollar that I had invested in my first business. And so, it was just growing. It was the first year of an entrepreneur. Very, very stressful. Things were growing, but all the money was locked in. I had maybe $2,000 in my bank account at that time. So I'm there. He said, "Man, you know what? You're doing such beautiful work. I love your energy. If you want, I'm going to this place in Costa Rica with, all the teachers, your role models, all of them are there. And you can come. It's a private community for Transformation Leadership Council. Vision is also part of it. Jack Canfield is running it. That's the one that I showed you the picture of before." He said, "You know what? You can come in as my guest. I will bring you as my guest. You'll of course have to cover your costs and the ticket and everything. But if you want, it's a private event, but you can come in as my guest." I heard that and I inquired, "How much is the ticket?" The minimum ticket was $5,000 at that time. The minimum you can pay between 5,000 to 10,000, but the minimum is 5,000. It's a five-star retreat center in the blue zone of the world. Farm to table food, 7 days, in a zone in the world where people consistently live beyond the age of 100. The healthiest of places in the world. That's where the retreat was happening. And so he tells me that, and my first thought immediately is, no, I all I wanted to say was like, man, I love it. And I immediately went into I didn't have the money. This was like more than twice of what my bank account had at that time. No joke. And I wanted to say no. And imagine what happens when you're presented with something, you feel like you want to make it, but it seems like out of your range. I want you to think about that. There's opportunities that come to you, and then you feel like, there's something resonating, but it feels out of the range. And then mind starts to create convincing argumentation that you can give so that you can be coherent with your decisions. It's very important for the mind to be coherent with your decision. Does that make sense? And so my mind was going into, no, it's not available. It's not possible. And yeah, it's a nice opportunity with all these guys, but like, it's too expensive. And then I started, and then later on, my mind turns into, how might that be bad? And that's a shitty feeling I hate. I never had that after this moment, but it happens. I start coming up with arguments that why that is a bad thing to do so that I can feel centered with my decision of not making it. And I had learned this thing. And the opportunity when it presented itself to you like that, it was like a dream. I couldn't say no. So I told Panash, I would love to come and let me figure it out. And I had like I had great skills. I knew that I just take a part-time gig or a freelancing gig, I can make the money very fast because I had a very high level skill at the time. I was running marketing team for Mind Valley before. So I came back and decided, you know what, I'm going to make it work. I wrote to all my friends, like some of my friends, my peers, guys, I'm open to taking a $7,000 gig. I'm for the next 2 months. I need $7,000, which is 5,000 for the retreat event and $2,000 for the flight. I declared it. I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. I told this to my friends, and I would have gotten the gig already in like within a week. For marketing, and it's a high-paying job. But first thing was that I made the decision that, hey, what can I do to make that happen, rather than why is that bad for me? Because that's where the mind tricks us. And see how many times your mind has tricked you before, where you feel like, oh, this is interesting, this is inspiring, this can be the next big thing, but you stop it. And then the mind goes straight into, it serves you in the direction that you want to go towards. If you're concerned that, oh, this is too hard for me, the mind is like, okay, here you go, master. How this is a concerning thing, this concern should be bigger. Yeah, this is not even worth it. This is, it won't work for you. And what if it doesn't work for you? And what if it's all the whole thing is a scam? What have you? Keeps on coming with lists. I decided to give my mind another input. Hey, let's make that work. And I wrote to my friends. Guess what happened after? Can you guess what happened after? Make a guess. Well, I told you the beginning part of the story already in the beginning. But yeah, what happened? You may got the gig, got the gig. Yeah, got the gig. Great. I didn't make the gig. And this is what I want to share with you. I barely share about the law of attraction. But when you work and when you start declaring this action that, hey, I don't want to look at how this is concerning, how this is not possible for me. All I want to look for is, how do I make that happen? 2 days after I wrote my friends and they were asking for us, having like some scheduling calls with me. 2 days later, I had started my speaking career. I was speaking around, but I was never doing paid engagements until that time. I got invited to speak in US for a in a university. They saw my TEDx talk and they said, "Hey, we would love to come and speak to you with our students." This is 2 days after. I want to share. Guess they said, "Yeah, and this will be a paid gig." Guess how much they were paying? This is the most valuable $5,000 check I've ever received in my life. 2 days later, when I declared it out there in the world, that I got an opportunity to say, "Hey, we'd be paying you $5,000." I took the check from there and paid it in the other retreat center. When this happened, I was already like, I will figure out the flights. If imagine if this kind of miracle happens, I will figure out the flights. Right? I said no to the guy. Like, there's too much work. I want to focus on my business. I'll figure out the flights. Right? I got this $5,000 check. Here's something else that happened. A week after, I paid the retreat center. I got invited to speak in India at Inc. It's like the TED of India, and they invited me to speak and say, "We're not going to pay, but we'll fly you in from wherever you're coming." The dates were right after the retreat. So I didn't have to pay for my flights. They said, "Yeah, we'll fly you in." So I said, "Yeah, I'm in Costa Rica, and then you'll have to send me back to Paris." They said, "Yeah, no worries. We cover your flights." So they paid the $2,000 fare of my flight within about 10 days of me making that decision. And I'm thinking I'm going to figure it out a different way. It just came in this way. And the reason why I want to tell you this, and I hope this lands on you deeply, the situation, there's always two options for us. There's a option of concern, and then there's the option of influence. There's a circle of concern and there's a circle of influence. As Stephen Covey talks about it in his book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. This stuff has been known for since the time he wrote the book, which was 60 years ago, I think. Whichever circle you focus on, that's the one that expands. Write that down. There's a circle of influence and there's a circle of concern. Whichever one you focus on, whichever one you give your energy, that's the one that expands. If you focus on how is this concerning, that one will expand. You'll have more things to be concerned about. You'll have way more things to be concerned about. And if you focus on influence, what can I influence right now? What action can I take right now? Oriented towards my vision. Your circle of influence will start expanding too. Your action will also start expanding in that direction. And that is powerful. Because here's the thing, as I mentioned before, the challenges of life will never change. The more we grow, the more our challenges grow too. The muscle that you build, whether you have 10 rupees or 10 million, is the same. Do I focus on the concern or the focus on circle of influence? The muscle that we train is that to which mindset do I bring to my challenge? Because the life will always present challenges. The bigger you are, the bigger the challenge. It's always training us. It's all what we're here for, learning. And we train this ability. The only thing we can train is the level of humility, strength, determination, and faith we show up with. And when we do, magic happens. I would have still gotten the gig. I was working for the gig. And it was not the first time I did it. I did it many times. I built this muscle within me that I knew, okay, we'll figure it out. But when you start living in that zone, synchronicities start to happen. It's inevitable. They start to happen. Law of attraction becomes secondary. When things like this happen, beautiful. We celebrate it, pat on the back, not rely on them. And they happen more and more. I want you to understand this. And so now I'm going to show you these 3 slides that we covered. Tell me this. These were the 3 things we covered. The hidden code. Why the world's most fulfilled high performers don't rely on hacks, willpower, or pushing themselves. They discover a way of living. The inner stillness that we experience together. How anyone can access clarity in a moment. And third is how to go big on circle of influence. That's the real juice. I've shared these 3 secrets with you, but I want to tell you, I'm here to just inspire action within you. Now that you've learned that the world's most fulfilled achievers operate with you can call it an inner code, which is not hacks. And slowing down, you've learned that slowing down creates clarity, energy, momentum that you've been chasing with overdrive. And understanding that extraordinary life is not about circumstances, but going big within our circle of influence. Now, it's you who from here on has to take actions. I'm here to add value, inspire action within you. I want to ask you, are you guys ready? Do you think you guys are ready to take actions with these 3 secrets with you? And this is the time for declaration, a declaration for yourself. Yeah. Yes. One yes to yourself, a capital yes. Great. Beautiful. So these are the three things that will add a lot of value. And as you start to make the commitment to make this action, pay attention to this as you're making this commitment. And you can do it now. You will start doing it by yourself. You'll start exploring, trying to apply this code within you. Those of you who've purchased the recording, you'll have this. You will review this recording again and again as well, and start making investment in the direction of how this adds value to you. Because the action will require investment. It's these three secrets are very fundamental to what I believe the for you to be in transformational leadership. My challenge here was to crush every single thing that I've done and taught in the last 13 years, and then give it to you in a 2 to 3 hour engagement section, and that adds value to you. Was this valuable? Was this adding value to you? Okay, very. Yeah, I would love to know. I also want to understand that if things are landing, if it's adding value to you, it is very, very meaningful. And as you acknowledge it, you also acknowledge it for yourself. Because the moment you do, then that's your brain saying, okay, so I need to remember it more. That's good. So, yeah, thank you. Yes. Okay. Abundantly. Too much. Okay. Here's what I want to tell you. Now, from this moment, you're going to take in a lot of actions, and your actions will require investment. I was doing this calculation for another presentation once. I spent about $250,000, $250,000 in just like of my money to going into events, seminars, workshops, retreats, events, training programs, certifications, degrees. I have a 2-year degree, as I told you, in Buddhist psychology from University of Berkeley and Spirit Rock Meditation Center, and I have degrees like that, certifications like that, tons of them. I spent a lot of time, and it does take time and investment. And so my invitation to you is wherever you want to spend it, you are fully ready right now to make that investment. And I want to fully encourage you. Now that you've learned these things, go all in. And you have all the keys. You have these three keys. You can start implementing them straight away. Now, if you are ready, if you have strong belief and you say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start investing in different place, all good, beautiful. But many of you who are inspired but do not know how do you want to go through all of this pain to finding the right strategies, resources, learning exactly all the things that I've learned and put together, and then I start following. We've been teaching it for the last 7 years. There's many of you who are interested in implementing this and who might be interested in implementing this with us. Now, we've actually created just an offering for those of you who are interested in not just information, but taking our help into implementing this in your life. I want to ask you, is it okay if I take 10 minutes to walk you through that very special offering that we have for those of you who are interested in implementing this in your life?
Hello everyone.
हाय।
Hello.
ये
Hello.
देखो,
How are
Hi
you?
उषा मैम देखो बिल्कुल आके छा गई।
हाँ, actually, she
है
has
ना?
to
उनकी
always.
एंट्री ऐसी ग्रैंड है। हेलो एवरीवन, हाय। हाय रोहित।
Thank you.
Isn't she look like the actress Amitabh Bachchan's mother from Diwar? What's her name?
निरूपा रॉय।
Ah, Nirupa Roy. Exactly. Doesn't she look like Nirupa Roy?
अरे वो बुरा मान जाएंगे if you say she looks like Alia Bhatt
No,
or
I mean
something, Deepika Padukone, she'll be
she was
happy. If
beautiful.
you call her Nirupa Roy, she'll stop talking to you.
No, that's a compliment. She looks like a mother figure, and Nirupa Roy. She was very beautiful,
So
by the way.
maybe she looks very kind-hearted.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
yeah,
why you feel like that.
yeah.
God.
Because these days heroines don't look very kind-hearted, no? They look sharp.
Thanks for the compliment.
They look very sharp, but not really kind.
True, true.
Hi, Aditi.
Hello, sir. Hello, everyone.
Hi
Hello,
there.
everyone.
Are you Aditi ma'am? Are you jumping or is your camera jumping?
No, actually, my hand is moving.
Because I thought you are the only one who has so much of energy. All of us, we were just talking about we are so sleepy. Can we have holiday today? We were talking like that.
Actually, I just woke up from my afternoon nap, so I was kind of getting ready only for the session.
All right. So
Hi,
see, what
Rohi.
happens is that if we have the session at 5 in the evening, then it'll end at 7. And if you have to go out or something, then that's going to be tricky for you, no? Plus, it'll be a chai ka time between 5 and 7. Then half of y'all might be in the kitchen making chai. What? What you said? Something is going on there. All right. So I think it's already 3 minutes. We'll just wait 2 more minutes and we'll just get started.
Can I take a screenshot?
If you wish to. All right. But
Thank you.
today's session is it's not 100%. See, what happens is today I've dumbed everything down. It means I've made things simpler.
Okay.
All right. So scientifically, it's not very deep. It has some depth, but some things may not be 100% accurate because I've made things easy for all of us to understand. What happens is if we use actual technical language, bouncer, it can happen. So some things take with a grain of salt, and a lot of things I copy from a website, but these people know which website that is. A lot of
There is
quotes and sayings you can also copy from there. You can get a lot of material from there. See, everybody's happily smiling because they know where to copy from. Just download everything. Just go hit there, click download. It downloads everything. Like you'll have so much of data, like GBs of data, and for free.
I've got another URL for the same.
Oh yeah, which one is that?
Yeah, www.millionsbrain.com.
Millions what?
Brain.com.
Brain. I've got one more. Philosophy.com.
Ah, philosophy. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Is it 5 minutes over? It is. Let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome today. Let's get down to business. And we have a decent quorum. There are some people whom we cannot see. As usual, I would request people, if we can see them, say hi to them. That will be good connect. What happens is that when you show yourself, especially, we can, hi there. Oh my God. We can actually, we can actually see.
You
I
can
can't
actually
believe,
see me today.
I can't believe my eyes.
Oh
So,
no.
so it's a good thing because we connect, we bond. When we listen to the voice, we have a face to that voice, and also we feel comfortable. We build trust, and we can also make sure if you're not sleeping and napping away. All right, guys. So let's get started. Today's session is called what again? Dipti ma'am, what is it called?
Sorry, sir, for
What is today's session called?
today's session, human psychology. We are
Ayyo, wrong answer, 0 marks. Already failed. Anybody else?
It's fascinating
Fascinating
psychology.
psychology.
What psychology, ma'am?
Fascinating psychology.
Fascinating psychology. All right. So let's get down to business. I hope more and more people won't keep joining late because then it's very difficult for us to kind of constantly jump back and forth. If I had Zoom right now, it would have been easier, but I'm using Google Meet, so it's very difficult to jump in and out. All right. So here we are. Let me know when you can see my screen. All right. Move. Ha. Hopefully this is the one. Can you see a slide?
yes.
All right. So firstly, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Next Level. For those who don't know, basically into training, Nobody wants to know really, so let's get down to the slides. Why am I even talking about all this? But next level is basically the training events, and the other one is another thing, but this one is a training. So what we're doing is we're borrowing training into our platform. Is that okay? We're borrowing content from there and bringing to our platform. Our platform is not meant for this. Everyone clear? But these are
Yes,
guest
sir.
items we bring in. And no, we don't call them item webinars. We call them valuable webinars. All right. So this is, oh, see, now somebody else is logging in and I have to constantly go back and forth. Hi Nishma, hi Lata ma'am, welcome. All right, so let's get started. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What letters do you see which are prominent? Which words do you see are prominent?
Psychology.
One is psychology, other is what? Guys, don't waste
Fascinating.
time. Quick. Hmm?
Fascinating.
Fascinating. Anything else that is prominent?
Series.
Human mind, figure of
Ayo,
human
Brain
words.
mind.
neurons.
Only words, only words.
Brain
Series.
neurons.
Brain,
Really? Is there a word called brain?
Series.
Series. What series? Psychology series. Now, it's
Psychology
important
series.
to understand that there is something going on which is called a psychology series. Point to be noted, ladies and gentlemen. Those who understand, they will understand what the word means. Quick disclaimer, this webinar will not make you a master of psychology. Ayo, is it sad? Are you feeling sad? Okay, right?
No,
How much time does it make for you to become a psychology or master of psychology? How much time does it take? 8 hours, 6 hours? How much?
years.
Yeah. And we are not spending
Yes.
years here.
Of
So
experience.
very good. So it will help you gain more knowledge and help you with your curiosity. Some you can satisfy and some you can enhance to learn, and some you will be learning in the future. The language has been simplified and non-technical wherever possible to facilitate understanding of certain concepts easily. This is not a psychology. What? Ayo, it's written here, quick. It's not a psychology
Book text.
Psychology.
textbook. So
Textbook.
enjoy as it is, as a learning, which is a concise, curated, relevant tool or a medium. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Clear? Everyone understood what all this means?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So quick question to all of y'all. Do you have any real life experience with psychology? Anyone? You want to share anything in short, in one sentence, 2 sentences? Drinking red label tea. You saw it so many times, you felt like drinking. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Anybody else, people?
For me, I have lot many experience dealing with people on day-to-day basis. So, one example I would give that when I hired a person, he was so genuine, and then suddenly something happened in his life, and then he was terribly bad performer. So I don't know what went wrong, but psychologically it got impacted to the whole team.
Wonderful. So one person who seemed genuine in the interview, he was good for a few days. After some duration, something happened. You don't know what happened, but it was bad for the entire team. Yes?
Yep.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to quickly share? Anything simple, one-liner? No? All right. Anybody here, student of psychology? Yes, no? Learning any
no.
sort of psychology?
No.
No, nobody? Nobody's learning
No.
a little bit of psychology also right now?
I have started, sir.
All right. Any other person who's doing something which is related to psychology in life, like some studying something? Just say I, and I'm not even gonna ask you. Just say yes or no.
No, no.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any teachers we
Yes,
have?
sir.
Yes. Designers? Any designer here in the group?
Yes, we do.
Sorry?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Any doctor by any chance? No doctors today?
Yes, sir.
Any business owner? Any healer?
Yes. Yes,
Who's
sir.
customer support? Do we have anybody from customer support?
Yeah, I am.
Sounds like Nishma to me.
Yes.
Wonderful. Anybody from sales? Like selling? All right. Any parents? No?
Yes, sir.
No parents?
Yes, yes,
And
Yes.
any
yes.
humans? Do we have any human beings
Yes,
here?
sir.
Yes.
Wonderful. I'm very lucky.
Yes.
So all these people definitely have had the experience of psychology and will be using psychology more and more in their life. So let's quickly go through student. So obviously, students of psychology, they've been learning a lot of terminologies, and we will also look at terminologies today. Everybody knows what terminologies means, right?
Yes.
Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Teachers will, they understand psychology because they are the learning style of students you can identify. Every student learns it. And also your own teaching style. And other teachers' style are different, and that is also part of psychology. Yes, no?
Yes.
Hmm? Designers, what makes the client happy? What does the audience like? Doctors, how your presence is healing for the patient. Has anybody experienced that? Just your presence can help the patient feel positive. And doctors also know what placebo means. Business owners know how motivation of staff is important. So, be it business owners, be it HR people. All right. Healers. They know the healing power of the mind. The Reiki healers, pranic healers, acupuncture, acupressure, and all sorts of things. They do work on the body, but they also work on the mind part. Agree, disagree?
Yes.
Hmm? Customer support, psychology of irate or happy customers. Nishma, did you meet any irate customers ever in your life?
Yeah, I did today. Yeah, it's happening.
All right. Sales, how to sell but not seem pushy, or how to give free trials so that a person likes your product, then buys. Parents, how to talk to kids so that the kids listen. Do you think that's a valuable skill? How to talk to the children so that the children actually listen? Anybody struggles with that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. And human beings useful in all areas. For all other people who are not, they do not fall into all this. Maybe they are just humans. And for you also, psychology is going to be important. So quick story time like you have shared. Can I share a story of mine about psychology?
Yes, sir.
All right. When I was in college, there was this guy who used to be very smart. All the time he used to taunt and bully, and he was stronger. So I used to be a little scared of him. He did it once, twice, three times, four times, like 10 times. He put me down. He made me look foolish. One day, I just couldn't take enough. I went up to him and he was wearing Ray-Ban glasses. Anybody know the Ray-Ban sunglasses?
Yes.
All
Yes,
right.
yes.
Yes.
I took
Yes.
those glasses in my hand. I removed the glasses from his face. He was wearing sunglasses. It was hot sun on a sunny day. I removed the sunglasses and I actually bent the sunglasses from the middle. So badly I bent that you cannot repair it anymore. All right. And do you think he fought with me, scolded me, beat me up? Do you think
Of
something like
course.
that happened? Because of course he was stronger than me. He was bullying me. He was putting me down. Did that happen?
Yes.
Yes. He beat me up.
Might
And the answer is
maybe.
nothing happened. He kept quiet. Everybody was shocked. He was shocked. The entire group was in a shock. Nothing happened. I did that. I returned the glasses to him. I put those sunglasses in his pocket and I walked away. Nothing happened. The next day, nobody talked about it. He never talked about it. And we became friends after that. Is that an interesting study in psychology?
Yes. Absolutely.
After that, he never bothered me. Are there any learnings from such things?
Right. Yes.
Okay, now it could have gone negative also, right? We don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So some types of psychologies we get exposed to. One is traditional psychology, how things work and all. The other is abnormal psychology. Anybody who studies psychology knows there is something called as abnormal. There is anomaly. There is pathology. Does anybody recognize these words? Even doctors?
Right. Yes.
All right. Then there is positive psychology. So I believe that was Dr. Martin Seligman, who's a big proponent of positive psychology. They work on you and they help you become more and more and more positive in life, but through scientific ways, proven ways. Then there is pop psychology. Anybody know what is pop psychology?
No.
Any doctors? Any clue? What is pop psychology?
I don't know, but I'm just guessing if it is with some properties or something.
All
Just
right, good
random.
guess. And here is the answer. Pop psychology is something that used in movies, magazines. They are not doctors, they did not study psychology, but they keep using certain words. Are you aware of that on Instagram, in the newspaper? Anybody, or even your friends, or even songs, music, movies, they talk about some psychology. They have not studied much, but they keep using certain words. That everything comes under pop psychology. Is that okay, guys?
Right. Yes, sir.
Clear with that? All right. Now, the next one is which?
WhatsApp.
New age.
WhatsApp psychology. So, in one of my groups, I belong to a certain group, and there's a WhatsApp post. This is what it says. Okay, guys, listen carefully. It says, psychology says there will always be a reason why you meet people. Either you need them to change your life, or you are the one who helps them change their life. Did everybody understand the meaning? हिंदी में बताऊं?
Yes, sir.
All right. तो सवाल आपके लिए ये है. Do you think it's psychology? Do you think psychology is saying all this in reality? Okay. Anybody else? Do you have a point of view? Anyone else?
No, no, sir.
What? No, no. Don't have a point of view?
Uh, some sayings can motivate or inspire the individuals to think in a
Very,
certain direction.
very good. Who is
So
this?
that's why
Who is
this
this person?
Aditi.
So Aditi ma'am, the question, सवाल क्या है और जवाब क्या है?
Okay, this is this a part of psychology?
है क्या साइकोलॉजी इसमें कुछ? क्योंकि यहाँ क्या लिखा है, साइकोलॉजी कहती है यदि आप किसी इंसान को जीवन में मिलते हो तो उनको बदलने के लिए या वो आपको बदलेंगे. साइकोलॉजी कहती है. कुछ कनेक्शन है क्या साइकोलॉजी का इसमें? या ये फिर सिर्फ
Kind of.
व्हाट्सएप का, या सिर्फ ये व्हाट्सएप की स्पेशल साइकोलॉजी है, या सोशल मीडिया की कुछ भी लिखो तो
Mm,
साइकोलॉजी वर्ड चिपका दो. व्हाट डू यू थिंक?
no, I personally feel there are some stories, there are some sayings which can motivate a person to.
I am asking you one last time. Is this scientific psychology? Does it come under psychology?
No, no,
Anybody
no.
answer that
It
question for
does.
me,
It is
please?
not scientific psychology.
All right, guys. So you have to realize there is a lot of stuff going on out there which is not scientific. कोई कुछ भी बोले जा रहा है और इसको नाम क्या दे रहे हैं लोग?
Yeah,
Be aware of
psychology.
that. Is that fair enough to understand?
Yes.
आज जो हम सीखने वाले
Yes.
हैं, इसने कहा, उसने कहा, लाइफ ऐसा होता है, लाइफ वैसा होता है, जीवन मतलब दरिया होती है. ये कोई साइकोलॉजी है क्या? ये जीवन दरिया है, जीवन फूल है, जीवन सागर है, ये साइकोलॉजी है क्या गाइस?
No.
नहीं, ये
No,
फिलॉसफी है, साइकोलॉजी नहीं है. Should we go ahead? Any questions so far?
no.
You're with me, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now, when things like that are happening, we get confused which is psychology, which is not. Also, when a post says psychology says something, we don't even know सच है क्या नहीं है, because हमें psychology ठीक से पता नहीं है, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, let's go ahead. Now, do you really find psychology fascinating? If that's so, why? क्यों है ऐसे? Right? We are able to manipulate someone.
Yes.
Rohit.
Anybody, any other thing?
So don't teach him. He's going to
I
spoil all the information.
Anybody else? What makes psychology fascinating? That is one answer, good answer. Anybody else?
Maybe we can deal with different kind of person.
We can what?
Deal with different kinds of
Deal
person.
with different kind of people. Okay.
I
All right.
want to understand different behavior of human and to get the perspective on their behavior.
All right. So here are some of the answers. Psychology is fascinating because it can help us. Where? How can I? There's a little button at the bottom, right, to run it in slide mode. There you go. Clear, full screen, better.
No, it's not
no.
full screen, sir. You just need to tab on slideshow.
No, but right now I'm on full screen and things are working
It's
well.
not.
Can you see the full screen of the slide?
No.
No, sir.
Can you tab on slideshow?
हाँ, that's what I did. नीचे के ऊपर bottom में ना?
Bottom mein, हाँ, right.
हाँ, I did it.
Okay. I can see that the slides. The size
Can
is
you see my
15%.
mouse?
Yes. Can you
And it
increase
says
that to standard size?
standard size.
Just if you scroll left
Hmm.
after the slideshow, sorry, towards slide. Keep it standard. Yes.
No. If I do that,
No, then you should go to slideshow. It will take a full screen.
So beside the percentage on your right, there's like a square with arrows inside. Just click that.
see, right now I have chosen slideshow mode. To me, the slides are running well, but you cannot see anything. Is that correct?
Yeah, we can't see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So, Priyanka, you are saying something. Go to the left and what?
To your right.
Ah,
So
This one?
beside the 44%, click the square. Yeah, try that.
Fit slide to current window.
Yeah.
But then current window, the same thing. We see all the left hand side,
Yeah, it's
all
not
these
working.
slides.
No.
No. All right. So should I just continue, guys? Will you be able to just zoom in, zoom out whenever you require to?
Yeah.
It's perfect for us.
All right. What happens if I click on it again? Whoa. All right. If you can zoom in, zoom out, because you are going to be reading some slides, okay? So I'll quickly read this slide for you. We find psychology fascinating because it can help us know more about others than regular people do. We can know about ourselves, what, why, and even the how. It can also make certain things obvious, which are not obvious to us, about our life, about relationships. Psychology can help us sell, make profit, in other words, influence people. So Rohit was using the word manipulate. I'm using a better word, influence. Then it can be studied to understand more about a group of people, for example, consumers or customers. And reverse psychology also works. So, do you think these points make sense to make psychology fascinating? What is reverse psychology, by the way? Anybody? Reverse psychology? Who would like to answer that?
It is something that applies to us.
Cannot understand. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? What is reverse psychology?
Maybe like someone is trying to influence or manipulate us, and we use the same technique with them.
वही टेक्निक यूज करके चेकमेट कर देना उनको. Okay, that is
Yes.
another answer. Anybody else? What is reverse psychology? Priyanka, Garima ma'am. Anybody? Nobody knows? Any doctors here? I'm sure you know. Any doctor, BHMS, BAMS? Any dentist? No? All right. Quickly read, someone quickly read what it means. I'll explain to you. Read aloud, please.
Reverse psychology is a persuasion tactic where you encourage someone to do what you want by suggesting they do the opposite, often relying on the psychological phenomenon of reactance where people resist being told what to do.
कुछ समझ में आया? हिंदी में बताऊं?
Yes, sir. Kind of
Yes.
confusing.
All right. ध्यान से सुनो. मान लो a kid is not studying. कोई बच्चा पढ़ाई नहीं कर रहा है. And instead of scolding the child, you say to the child, "Arey, don't worry. Why you want to study? Don't study. Go play. Don't worry. Go. Play a lot. Play so much that you won't have any time to study. Go. Give those books. Forget the exams and everything." What is going to happen? What is the kid going to do now? Do you think the kid will say, "Okay, mama, okay, papa, take my books. I will go out to play"? Is that going to happen? The exams are tomorrow, by the way.
No,
Example number 2. Somebody is smoking or drinking too much, and you use reverse psychology. Have more drinks. Have more smoke here. This is really going to help us and the relationship and your health also. And they're going to start smoking more and drink more. Yes. All right.